everyone. Good evening. JD here. Super excited to be with all y'all today. Hope that everyone had a good Thanksgiving for those that celebrate. Otherwise, hope that you're having a happy Sunday. We are here with the mchan338. We'll be showing off an awesome warpless run of new Super Mario Brothers 2. So mchan, go ahead and take it away.
All right, hello. Thank you for having me. Welcome to the showcase for the month here. I'm going to be starting off the series of showcase runs with New Super Mario Bros. 2. Time doesn't actually...
It can't come through. Oasis, can you turn up Discord? Might want to just do your intro again, actually.
Oh, okay. Me or JD?
All right. No worries, mchan. I got you covered. All right. Well, hello, everyone. That was a good peek behind the scenes on how all of this stuff goes. But welcome in, Festus First community. Once again, my name is JD. I'm super excited to be host for today's showcase here. And I'm joined by the one and only mchan338, who's going to be running an awesome run of warpless Super Mario Brothers 2. That's the new Super Mario Brothers 2. So mchan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, totally. So, what is special about new Super Mario Brothers 2? And what is it that you're excited to show off today?
New Super Mario Bros. 2 is a really simple Mario platformer in the modern style, compared to when people are more familiar with the classic 2D Mario speedruns. And so this kind of speedrun is kind of not as well known to a lot of people in the speedrunning community. So I'm really just excited to show this off. And the category is warpless instead of 80%, as you get to see more of what the game is like as a speedrun. So I think if we're ready to go, time doesn't actually start until I start moving on the map, which means I have to get past like a 50-second cutscene. So are we good am I good to start?
Let's see. I think we're good to go.
All right. So I'm just gonna go and hit new game, and I'll let you know when time starts. So here we
Sounds good.
Okay, so yeah, this is New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the Nintendo 3DS. It is the third game in the New Super Mario Bros. Series, with the second game being New Super Mario Bros. Wii for the Wii. And the category is warpless. So in any percent, you use warp cannons in order to skip a large part of the game. So like you can beat the game within 26 minutes. Warpless does not allow the use of warp cannons. So what you're going to be seeing is a more traditional route through the game. So it's about twice as long, but I like to think it's twice as fun. You can see more levels and more strategies. So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty fun category. All right, so time is about to begin pretty soon. All right, here we go. 3,
All
2,
right.
1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. So starting up in the first level, right off the bat, I'm going to be going a little bit out of my way to get star coins. Now, this is not a 100% run, but the reason I'm getting star coins is because scattered throughout the overworld map, there are these 5 star coin signs that will either take you to toad houses or a different part of the map. And for the different parts of the map, they can either lead to faster levels or a faster path throughout the overworld map. So throughout the first half of the run, I'm going to be getting 15 star coins, and those 15 star coins are used within the first 3 worlds of the run. So the routing behind these star coins is pretty precise. So we got 2 star coins from the first level. We don't get any star coins within the second level because all the star coins are too slow to get. So as a result, the second level is pretty basic. When we get to the next level, though, we will get our next star coin, and the next level actually introduces the main power-up of the run, which is the Super Leaf. So if you played Super Mario Bros. 3, you'll recognize the power-up. Mario turns into a raccoon suit, and he can glide around and fly. and this will be the main power-up used throughout the run if all things go well.
Of course, as raccoons naturally do in the wild.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so you notice that I'm grabbing these flagpoles and with the 2,000 point mark, and that's because Mario and the flagpole both move at different speeds, and you want them to stop at the same time, which saves a few frames each time. And we do quite a bit of levels, so it adds up. So here's the super leaf. So as you can see on the bottom left of the top screen, we have a P meter, and when you run at full speed, the P meter will fill up, and when it fills up all the way, you have P speed, and when you have P speed, you can fly. Now, normally when you're flying, you lose horizontal speed for vertical height, but as you're seeing with all these spins, I am doing what's called spin flying, which is simply mashing run and jump at the same time, which in my case is Y and B. And that allows me to keep my speed while I'm flying, and that is how a lot of tricks in this game are possible. So you're going to see me use spin flies a lot. So now the first tower level, the midpoint of every world. Towers are usually these vertical climbing levels, so movement tends to be very technical because we want to climb as high as we can pretty quickly. So we fly up to the top like this, and then make it to the boss door. So the boss of every tower is Reznor, and if you played Super Mario World, then you might recognize his boss. And the way you fight him is the same as in Mario World. You hit underneath him, and that's the fight. So that was really easy right there. In later worlds, they actually have more creative ways of how to beat Reznor. So the fight is not going to be the same every single time. So the next level, right now we have 4 star coins, and the next level we're going to get our 5th star coin, which is going to be useful because the next level that we're going to be doing after 1-4 is not going to be 1-5. It's actually going to be 1-A. And the reason we do 1-A instead of 1-5 is because 1-5 is a water level. Now, if you know anything about water levels in typical 2D Mario games, you know that water levels are really slow. You move slow. There's not a good way to go fast in those levels. So that alone makes getting the star coins worth it. 1-A saves 50 seconds over doing 1-5. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and spend the star coins here. And we're going to go to the bottom and do 1-A. So what we have instead is a pretty straightforward level that's not a water level, and so this is automatically faster. I'm going to go ahead and build up P-Speed over here. Oh, I didn't get it? Okay, so that's a pretty precise P-Speed setup anyway. Otherwise, if I had P-Speed, I would have flew up to this part and instead of using that pipe cannon, but that's okay. That only saves like a couple seconds. And as you can see, some parts in some levels involve really, really precise P-Speed setups in order to actually get P-Speed. And that was the first example. Didn't quite get it right there, but that's fine. So now
Definitely flying through.
Yeah. So the next, we're now heading to the castle, and the castle has another pretty precise P-Speed setup, and that is to get the 2nd star coin. So the castle is going to be our endpoint for every world. Kind of tests your ability of how to your platforming ability. As you can see, we have like lots of obstacles. So there's that precise P-Speed setup in order to get to the 2nd star coin, and then the rest is just flying through the rest of the level. So with boss doors, anytime I enter a door in this game, I'm entering the middle of the door, and that saves Mario walking to the center of the door and then go inside the door. So it saves about a few frames over just entering the door from like the very left or right sides. The boss of every castle is a Koopaling. In this case, we're fighting Roy Koopa. Now, when you fight a boss in any Mario game, it's usually like when you fight them the same way, most of the time you get like really consistent results. So what I'm doing here is I'm standing at, I know exactly when Roy's going to come out of the shell, so I stand at the spot where he's going to come out of the shell and then just hit him as soon as he comes back out, and then that's the fight. And then I fly up to get the key that's descending down because it's faster than waiting for the key to come down and then grab the key. As the key descends really slowly. So that's the first world completed, and now we're moving on to the second world, where the second world starts to pick up in difficulty. So the first world's, you know, in a lot of Mario games, the first world's like the introductory world. They kind of introduce you to the game with very basic levels, but now World 2 starts to kind of challenge us, where you're going to be seeing a little bit more harder tricks as we go through World 2. So something to note with P-Speed, if you're familiar with how P-Speed works in Mario 3, you know that once you have P-Speed with the Super Leaf, then you lose P-Speed, and then you have to try and get it back. But as you can see, anytime I'm flying, then the P-meter will slowly deplete, but when I run on the ground for about a few frames, then the P-meter actually refills back to full. So you can just keep on regaining P-Speed and spend a long time flying, and that's another reason why a lot of tricks in this game are possible. So coming up in the second level, we're going to be getting 2 star coins in order to get back up to 5, as the next level is not going to be 2-3, it is going to be 2-A. Now, 2-A saves 6 seconds over doing 2-3. At least a net save. It saves 12 seconds, but because of the time that I spend getting extra star coins, as well as actually spending the star coins, it's a net 6 seconds. It's still worth it. With the trade-off of the fact that 2-A is actually a much harder level than 2-3. One mistake could potentially lead to death. So it's a very high risk, high reward type of level over 2-3. Let's see how this goes.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. So that's one of the hardest part right there, and that is building up P-Speed right in the very beginning. And then one optimization that I'm doing this level is I'm actually landing on the very left of these moving platforms. And that's because when you run with the platforms, then you run a little bit faster, and that saves about 2 seconds. Nice. So that last fuzzy that I just hit there can actually sometimes hit you, and if you get hit by that fuzzy, then you die. So that was a very good level. Okay, so next up is 2-Tower. And 2-Tower is a cycle-based tower. There's a lot of these moving blocks, and the cycle I'm going to go for here is going to be a cycle where if I make it up to the very top without making any mistakes, then I just have to wait for the very last cycle for about a second. So if I make like a 1-second mistake on my way up to the climb, then I don't lose any time, because I gotta wait for the very last cycle anyway. Now, some runners at very high level of this category will actually do an even faster cycle that saves 6 seconds, and that is to do the same movement that I'm doing, but cut the jumps a lot tighter in order to beat that very last cycle that I had to wait for. But it's not safe for this type of run. That's not safe to do. So as you can see right there, Reznor, there's 4 Reznors instead of 2, so, you know, a little bit harder, but, you know, not so much.
I'm definitely counting 0 Reznors now.
So far so good, and now we're going to be moving on to 2-Ghost House, which is the first of many ghost houses of the game. Well, I guess it's not very much when you actually count the ghost houses, but ghost houses are these like, they're very gimmicky. Usually like these levels that trick the player into getting lost. But the ghost houses in this game are pretty gimmicky. As you can see, for this ghost house, we have this giant boo that's going to be chasing after us. And the idea here is I want to not face left. If I face left at the big boo, then he will stop, which actually stops the progression of the level.
So what you're saying is you could make an auto-scroller worse by facing the other direction.
Exactly.
Oof.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hit this vine block, which will reveal the first secret exit I'm gonna be taking in the run. Now this is warpless, so I'm allowed to take secret exits as long as I'm not using warp cannons. And this secret exit will actually give us a shortcut through the rest of World 2. The normal path of, if I were to take the normal exit of this level, I have to do 2 more levels. Whereas if I take the secret exit, then I just have to do 1 level, and then the castle. And this level is simpler than the other, the 2 levels I would otherwise have to do. The other 2 levels that you would otherwise have to do are very difficult. Now this level, if you run 100%, then you absolutely hate this level. It is one of the worst levels in 100%. But in 100%, but when I'm not, it's not 100%, and I don't have to worry about getting the star coins. I can just simply fly over everything, and that's pretty much going to be the name of the game most of the time. Is a level that's normally supposed to be hard is simple if you just fly over everything.
I saw the placement of those star coins, and I could absolutely see how they would be a pain to get.
Yeah, some of those star coins you have to use a bomb, and it's so painful. Alright, so this is the first major skip of the run. So normally, you're supposed to ride that giant button across the large pool of lava, but I'm going to, with precise flying, okay, that was close. I almost messed up there. With precise flying, you can just simply skip riding the giant button across the lava and then just go to the boss door. So did it first try. It's the
I was so nervous for you.
it's the first difficult trick of the run. And since I almost messed up, if you mess up, then you're probably gonna die and lose a lot of time. So Iggy Koopa comes from random places, but you have enough time to get to Iggy Koopa before, so that the randomness does not matter at all. So this is a pretty simple fight. And there we go. So, World 2 completed. 1/3 to the run already. And yeah, so we got our first difficult trick out of the way. So this run's already pretty good. So the next world, World 3, is a beach and forest world combined. And so the first level in World 3 is going to be the introduction to stars. Now, stars make you invincible, and not only that, but you can tank through enemies while you're invincible, and it also increases your movement speed. Another thing about stars is some blocks will contain a star if you hit them while you have a star, essentially creating a star chain. And that's what I'm going to be doing in this level. So I got the star there, and then this block will not contain a star if I hit it without having a star. So you want to make sure you hit that block fast enough before your star power runs out. And having the star is good for this level because these flying cheeps can be a pain to deal with if you do not have a star. Alright, and there we go. So, we now have another 5 star coins, and this will be our last point of the run where we're going to be spending our star coins. And that is on the bottom path. Now, this next level is a water level, and I did mention in World 1 that we try to avoid water levels if we can, but doing this level is better than doing 2 levels up on the top that you see in that map. So this still saves time. And this is going to be the last point where we're going to be getting star coins, or at least where we need star coins. Any star coins I get from now on are star coins that just happen to be in my path. So the rest of the run is just me doing every level as fast as I can. So I don't really have much to say about this level other than the fact that the currents are moving for us. And then the next level, which is the tower, is also an auto-scroller. So, JD, what would you like to say?
Yeah, absolutely. So I welcome everyone to the stream here. And in case you weren't in tune with us a couple of weeks ago, we did just run our 10th charity marathon, the Fastest Furs Fall Fest. And if you want to catch up on that or in any of our past events, the Team Fastest Furs YouTube page contains a playlist from each marathon and showcase. Get subscribed now by using the command !YouTube in chat and follow the link. Yes, hello there, chat. Hello there, chat. I see you. I hope that everyone's enjoying seeing mchan absolutely blaze through all of these levels. It's really, really impressive. And also, in case you may be hanging on to one of those Prime Gaming subs, I want to remind everyone that all revenue from Twitch subscriptions and cheered bits received during this event today will support events now and into the future, including our upcoming Fastest Furs live at FWA 2024 event, which will be returning to Furry Weekend Atlanta next year. Please consider subscribing now to get those Fastest Furs emotes, feature the always adorable PB the cheetah, and don't forget to see if you have your free Twitch Prime Gaming sub available too. If you subbed with us during the marathon earlier this month, you should still be all good, and we appreciate your support.
So I guess one thing I can talk about is you might notice that, at least in the map, you might notice that there's an external coin count. And right now my external coin count says 9,999,999. And one of the selling points of this game is collecting a lot of coins, particularly 1,000,000 coins. And that actually does play a role in the speedrun. The coin count is accumulated throughout the cartridge, and when you max out the coin count, the game cannot count up any more coins, which actually saves time within the speedrun itself. So in Warpless, you essentially just save 10 seconds for free.
Just for having a lot of coins, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So this coin block that I picked up is like a temporary power-up. Essentially, what it does is this coin block will just, as you can see, every time I move around, I'm getting coins from the coin block, up until a certain point. But if I get hit with while having this coin block, then I'll just lose the coin block without losing any of my power-ups. And that is going to be abused in one level later on the run. But I picked it up in this level because something I haven't talked about is, as you can see, Reznor can randomly shoot fireballs, which can throw off your strategy sometimes when trying to do the fastest strat on Reznor. It does not happen very often at all, but when it happens, then it kind of feels bad. But fortunately, right there, since I have the coin block going into the fight, you also notice that the coin block has been following me on the map, and it'll spawn in the beginning of every level until I actually grab it. The coin block actually spawns anytime you accumulate increments of 200,000 points, which you can't see my points count because it's on the bottom screen, and the bottom screen is not shown on the layout. So another part to keep note of is your points count throughout the run, as sometimes you don't want the coin block to spawn at like on some levels because the beginning movement might be awkward because the coin block would just be in the way. So 3-4, pretty straightforward level. It was, as you can see, the second part of the level is cycle-based with the rising poison water. There is a faster cycle that I didn't go for because it involves making a really tight cycle. So I'm gonna lose a bit, 1 second for the sake of consistency. This level has moving platforms where I can just simply just fly to skip the moving platforms. That is a precise piece speed setup. Otherwise, if you jump too late, you're going to die, and if you jump too early, you're not going to get the piece speed. So I am going to get the secret exit of this level, and that skips one level. I can go straight to the castle. Otherwise, the normal exit, you have to do one extra level, and that extra level is a water level. So we don't want to do water levels. So again, normally you're supposed to ride this platform, but I can just fly up, face left, so I can lure that boot out of the way, and then hit those blocks using the super leaf in order to get to the secret door here. And contrary to popular beliefs, this is not Tanuki Mario. Tanuki Mario wears a Tanuki suit. This is Raccoon Mario instead of a Tanuki suit.
It's the partial suit versus full suit conundrum.
Rip stream.
Don't worry, we're working on things in the background.
Oh, okay. Alright, so this level has these razors that we have to dodge as we go through. Just fly up to the top, and then hopefully I can get this really cool piece speed setup. Yes, there we go. So getting piece speed there allows me to fly over that razor, otherwise I have to wait for it, which loses about a second. But now that I got the early piece speed, I can just use it to just fly over all the rest of the razors and go to the boss door. So the boss is Wendy Koopa, Wendy O Koopa. And Wendy is going to start off by flooding the room. You cannot hit Wendy while she's in the water unless you have the fire flower. But it is not worth getting a fire flower in this fight just to save time. So just wait for the water to come on down, hit her, and then the rest of the fight is pretty straightforward. And there we go. So the run has been pretty straightforward so far, but now World 4 is where the category starts to get pretty interesting, and that is that in World 4, it is, when you're just playing through World 4, it's the longest level of the game. If you count the levels, it has the most amount of levels out of every world in the game. But it is, in the speedrun, at least in Warpless, it is actually the shortest world in the run, because despite having a lot of levels, we only do 4. And that also includes skipping the tower. So, in most categories, we skip a lot of World 4. There's only very few categories where we actually do a lot of World 4, and that is either 100%, where you're doing every level anyway, or there's actually another Warpless category called No Secret Exits, where, as the name implies, you don't get any secret exits. And that's 10 minutes slower than the Warpless run. And not very many people run that category because it's pretty similar to Warpless. Alright, so JD, anything else you like to talk about?
Well, one thing that I was actually curious about, you mentioned it earlier on where you were landing on the flag. When I remember seeing Super Mario Brothers 1 runs, people would always try to grab the flag as close to the bottom as possible so that there wasn't a long animation. Can you explain again why you're grabbing the flag about midway point through around the 2000 mark?
Yeah, so like I said, the Mario and the flag, they move at different speeds on the flag, and the idea is you want them to stop at the same time. Otherwise, the flagpole animation just takes a little bit longer. And because of how many levels we do within this run, that time save does add up to being like a handful of seconds.
Totally. And then another thing that I found curious is that it looks like some of the Koopalings follow very common or repeatable patterns, whereas others seem to be a little random. Is that just something that's in the code where you just have the RNG sometimes, or I guess is it that is it surprising that some of them are like fixed to where they're gonna appear and when they're gonna pop out of their shells and stuff.
So, I mean, having the consistent results make it so that you know exactly what you're going to do every single time. The RNG on the Koopaling fights, they don't really. There's no RNG in any of the Koopaling fights. I mean, I did say that there's some on Iggy, but it doesn't really it doesn't impact the run as far as like time. And so even then, being able to know exactly what to do is better than if it was RNG. Then the time that it takes to fight every boss is just variable.
Yeah.
So this level we have these amps. Okay. We have these amps, and when you get hit by these amps, you get electrified and then lose your power, and then also lose all your speed. So you want to dodge all the amps whenever possible. It's quite punishing if you get hit by those amps. Didn't quite do that. Alright, so the coin block that's been following me around throughout the whole game, I'm now going to be using it in this next level, which is Fordash Castle. So like I said, we're going to be skipping the tower. The tower's an auto-scroller, so you obviously want to skip that at all costs.
Yeah.
And now going straight to the castle and completing World 4 already. And so I'm going to be picking up the coin block. And that is so I can boost through a fire bar. And then also there is a roulette block. And the roulette block can contain any power-up, but it is not RNG. It starts in a cycle when you get to a certain point of the level. And so you can manipulate what power-up you can get from the roulette block as a result. So you just saw that I hit a step, so that way I can slow myself down enough so that by the time I hit that block, it contains a star. And I used that to run through the rest of the level. And then towards the end, you saw I did an intentional damage boost because there's not a good way to go past those giant spiky balls without getting hit. So we may as well just take damage boosts. So Morton, hardest boss in the game, hit him. He goes off screen and then comes back up to the top. He's back again. I hit him. That's the fight. It was so difficult. My hands were sweating.
Do you have a favorite Koopaling, whether it's to fight or just because you like them?
I like Roy because I like him. He has really nice sunglasses, and I guess that's what appeals to me about Roy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Roy's our boy. Roy's our boy.
Roy's our boy. And actually, in New Super Mario Bros. U, which is another game that I run, in the 100% category of that game, you fight him twice.
We're seeing some other Koopaling love inside the chat too.
Okay, so now here we are in World 5, which is, in my opinion, the hardest world in the run. The World 5 has a lot of, if you make a mistake, then you lose a few seconds, but it snowballs very quickly, so it adds up to being a handful of seconds each time. And it's another short world, fortunately. Normally it's a long world, but again, we're going to be getting secret exits that allow us to skip a lot of World 5, which again also includes includes skipping the tower, as the tower level normally contains a insanely hard skip that we don't have to do in this run. So first off, that's the secret exit of 5-1, which will take us to the top path, and we pretty much just go around the normal path of World 5. So 5 Ghost is another very difficult level. There are these swoopers that like to get in my way. So the beginning part right there is the hardest part, trying to hit that swooper while starting our flight, and then fly up here. Normally it's supposed to reveal a hidden vine block, but you can just fly up to the top over here, and that will take us to the secret exit. And now we have these swinging ropes that are on a cycle, but also trying to deal with these moving things while dealing with the swoopers is very hard. And then I face backwards so I can lure that big boo out of the way of the door that I'm supposed to go to. Now it's not over yet. I have to just make it across. There we go. So that level is a lot harder than I made that look. So like if something goes wrong in this level, it goes really wrong. But I didn't get to demonstrate that.
How did you move to the right while facing the other way?
I just tapped left, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah. So you just gotta tap left just a little bit to where you're not losing too much speed, while keeping your momentum, in order to get that boo to move out of the way just enough to where you can squeeze into that door. All right, so this is the coin ship level. So it's about 2 minutes long, which is a blessing. It can be a blessing because it's a nice breather after going through some pretty tough parts of. But it can also be a curse at the same time because it's 2 minutes of you thinking about how you're gonna mess up 5 Castle, which is the next level, or 2 minutes to think about how you're gonna mess up World 6. But for now, JD, what would you like to talk about?
Sure. So if you are tuned in here tonight, everyone, folks, the Fastest First Community Showcase is back, and you're in one of them right now. Monthly streams featuring amazing speedrunners from all kinds of folks within the Fastest First community. So if you want to, we're right now doing a post-marathon showcase sprint, I would say, of a bunch of other runs that we could just fit into the schedule. But if you are a speedrunner that would like to participate in a future showcase next year, use the command !showcase in the chat to fill out an application today. We're going to be so excited to continue these marathon showcases in the new year. So definitely come check it out. And if you're super curious about kind of what's going on in general, lots of y'all are familiar with us, but in case you're not, Team Fastest Furs is a community of furry speedrunners that's welcoming and open to all. We currently host 2 charity speedrun marathons a year, one in the spring, one in the fall, and support ongoing community events throughout the year, such as this Community Showcase series. So if you're an active speedrunner, or someone who's curious about the hobby or our events, or know someone else who might be, you could join us on our Discord by using the command !Discord in chat.
Okay, so the next level, it has another major skip. So in the next level has moving grates that you're normally supposed to ride across lava, but just like in 2-Castle, if with precise flying, I can just skip having to do any of that, and it's split up into 3 parts. If I mess up, then I die. Let's see how this goes. So that's one part. That is 2.
Ooh.
And that's 3. So there is actually a way to skip riding this grate, but it saves 3 seconds, and that is to fly through that giant piranha that you saw me ride under. But if you mess that part up, you die. We call that the YOLO, and it saves 3 seconds, but with the consequence of dying if you mess it up.
Exactly. Oh, I was on the edge of my seat for that. Good job.
Yeah. And then right there, what I did is I ground pound on the peak of my jump and then buffer an up input in order to stay in the air as much as possible, so that way I can hit Ludwig as early as I can before he goes up to the top of the screen. Because the normal way of doing this fight is he will descend down from a random chain, and you're supposed to use those pipe cannons in order to bring him down and then hit him. But by doing what I just did, you skip that entire attack phase, and it saves 6 seconds.
Wow.
So World 5 completed, and now we are going into World 6, which is actually the final world. There are 6 main worlds in the run, so we are here in the final world. There are also 2 other worlds, which are Mushroom and Flower World, which you do those worlds in the 80% run, but this is the normal route of the game, where you just do worlds 1 through 6. So 6-1 has these falling meteors, and they fall down at random, but as long as you don't slow down at all, then you do not have to worry about the meteors getting in your way. So the randomness does not matter in this level at all. If you're doing the 100% category, then as you can see, that star coin that I just passed requires a meteor to break those blocks in order to get that star coin, and the meteors can take a random amount of time to fall on those blocks in order to get that star coin. But it's not 100%, so I do not have to worry about that.
Also, I want to welcome in Cyrus Hyena rating on in. Welcome in, and thank you so much for the good lucks for mchan. He's absolutely thrashing this new Super Mario Bros. 2 Warpless run. Welcome in, everyone. You're watching a Team Fastest First community showcase, and mchan is kicking off this evening with this awesome Mario run.
Yeah, thank you, everyone, for tuning in. So this level is a bit of a complicated level usually, but obviously since I've done this level many times, I know the fastest way through the level. I go in that door, even though the sign tells me to go left. Don't care about that. And then again, face left so I can get that boo to move out of the way so I can hit that switch in order to get to this door. And this will take us to the secret exit. And this secret exit will allow me to skip quite a bit of World 6, as the normal path involves doing 2 very difficult levels that involve doing very difficult skips, and with this path we don't have to do any of that at all. So what we have instead is the next level, which is 6-A, which is a pretty simple level. So 6-A is normally like a level where there's rising lava, and then some of the platforms that we run on will fall down. But we move so fast in this level that you don't really see the lava rising. I'm going to fly up here to grab the star, and then just go through the rest of the level. So the next level, which is 6-Tower, is split up into 2 different parts. The first part is a technical climb, and then the second part has these moving platforms that you're supposed to use to ride up to the very top of the level, but I can just fly up to the top. So let's see how this level goes. One of the more harder levels to do really well.
Definitely good luck on that.
So there's my P-speed, and then we just fly up to for the rest of the level. I'm gonna grab this leaf because I do need that second leaf.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. Okay, so the final Reznor fight. Supposed to be the hardest one because it's given it's the last tower. So let's see how this goes. Okay, we got hit. That should be okay. Yeah, I can get another leaf in the next level.
Okay.
But that could have been disastrous. But that's what can you do?
Now, was that because just your hitbox was just a little too high that go around to be able to tail swipe the question mark?
Yeah, I probably hit swiped a little bit too early to where I just missed the block. It happens every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice. So you want to have P speed because you're not only supposed to ride that moving platform for the rest of the level, but we're going to fly and skip that entirely.
Flying is just OP.
It is. This is stuff that you cannot do in regular Mario 3. So the next level, 6-5, it has these statues that shoot fireballs. Now something I didn't talk about yet is that whenever you triple jump, then the triple jump is higher than a regular jump, and that extra height does make a difference because I'm going to be setting up triple jumps in order to fly over a lot of stuff at a time, such as that part right there. Without triple jumps, then you will not be able to clear all those large obstacles, just like that. And something that I'm doing in order to set up my triple jumps easier is that whenever you flutter, it actually stores a first jump, so you can continue chaining second double jumps, which makes setting up triple jumps much easier. Alright, so the very last level, 6 Castle, is pretty much a gauntlet of a lot of different things. So let's see how this goes. So I dodge all these flamethrowers. And then there's going to be an intentional damage boost I'm going to do because coming up is there's a lot of these flamethrowers that are just really hard to dodge, so I may as well just take a damage boost. There is a way to actually do this without doing the damage boost, but it's very difficult. So in this room, normally I'm supposed to ride this block snake across the level, but as tradition of the game, we can just fly to skip it. Now, in this room, the Kooplings are back, and what they're going to do is they're going to unleash their flash attack, and what the flash attack will do is it's going to turn me into stone, and I have to mash the struggle out of the stone. But if I'm behind these walls, uh-oh. Okay, hold on, I'm going to wait a whole cycle for this. So that's an example right there. If you're not behind these walls, then as you can see from the way the room looks, if you get stone in the wrong spot, then you just die. So I had to wait for that cycle, that extra flashing cycle.
Because you would have just gone straight down to the lava?
Yes. Or I would have landed on either a donut platform or a conveyor belt, which would then push me into the lava.
Got it.
So the fireballs are not random in the corner room, so I can just dodge them the same way like that. And then here's Bowser.
Nice.
Very, very difficult fight. Holding my breath. Oh, let's go. I did it. So with that, that's the end of the game, right?
I was gonna ask, like, do we need to push a button?
What? I thought that was it.
I thought it was a 2.
Well, the Kooplings are back.
Bum bum bum.
They're sprinkling magic. What is going on? Oh my gosh, Bowser is back.
What?
I saw this coming. Alright, so now starts the escape sequence. So what's going to happen is it's pretty much a vertical auto-scroller up to the top. Now, you can make it to the top as soon as it actually spawns. In order to what we do in order to fly up to the next part as fast as we can is we actually count how many times Bowser swipes. So right there, I actually counted 4 swipes and then fly up to this next part. And the second part here, you can get up to the next part within 4 swipes as well, but Bowser will always do a 5th swipe no matter what. And so you can actually do this entire escape sequence without P-Speed, but it's much easier with P-Speed. So there's the 4 swipes. I'm gonna fly up, and I made it, but he's gonna do the 5th swipe anyway. So that second part you can like just not fly up there right away and not lose time at all. And again, gotta avoid his flamethrower attacks. Now on the 3rd part, you can get up to the top within 3 swipes, and on the top there's a giant switch, and that's when time ends as soon as I press it.
Nice.
Time.
Wow.
4708. All right, that was a very good run.
Phenomenal. GG's, mchan. Any shoutouts that you want to give? Phenomenal run.
Yeah. So, shoutouts to the Fastest Fur team for allowing me on. Yeah, this is my 3rd time participating in a Fastest Fur event. With the first time being last year in 2 major events last year. And it's a lot of fun. This community is awesome. For anyone in chat who wants to get involved within this community, we're a friendly group of people. Even to people like myself, who's not really much involved with the furry community that much, we're still open to even people such as non-furry members. They're really awesome, very supportive, and very friendly group of people to hang out with. So thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, mchan. Thank you so much for coming by and showing off that new Super Mario Brothers 2 Warpless run. I was absolutely breathtaking throughout it. And yes, mchan, I agree. We are an awesome community that welcomes in folks from all sorts of different walks of life. Whether you're a speedrunner, a furry, or just a fan of either community, we welcome you all in. Great job once again. Thank you so much. All right. Well, folks, that was a new Super Mario Brothers 2 by mchan338. Definitely check him out. Playing all sorts of different games. Really awesome stuff. Stay tuned, folks. We are going to be right back after a short break, and we'll be getting to more speedrunning. So catch you soon.